just cleaned it. Right there, we're gonna see if we can mount that switch. It's gonna be a tight fit because the switch is about as wide, so we're gonna have to do some trickery with it, but we'll figure it out. Got a problem here. Of course, I knew this FJ had a hitch, but the hitch does not look like this factory bolt-on hitch. So I had to take this old one off so I get these brackets on here. I don't know if you can see them up in there. Oh, you can kind of see. So the old hitch mounted 1, 2, and then 3 right there. And factory hitches mount here, which this is a couple, you can see how thick that is maybe. This is a couple pieces thick. And apparently the second piece, one of the layers swelled up and expanded due to rust. And now there's this nice bow in it, which you can kind of see right about there, and then it comes all the way out. So I don't really know how well that's going to go back together. I think I'm going to end up, there's a bracket that's supposed to go right here and stick out that the bumper mounts to. Probably going to end up welding that because I don't think these threads are any good with how much rust is in there. And then I'll probably take this, cut it about right here all the way across, weld it up under here, make some gussets to help give it some support, plate the back side of it, clean up all that rust back there as well, and then finish mounting the bumper. So let's get to it. Quick update. We got this tab on here with the bolts. Somehow or another, them bolts went through there. We're gonna cut these side pieces off of the old bumper, pop those back on, and then mount the bumper up loosely, figure out where to put the hitch at, tack the hitch on, and then I'll make some panels for it, some gussets, and weld the hitch back on. And then we'll be done with that. update. Hitch is on there. These bolts ended up going in, which is pretty lucky. And then we got the gussets on the back. We'll paint all that back up, kind of protect it a little bit. Cut that inclusion off of there. We got it tucked up there real nice, so I mocked it up with the bumper on there. Made sure I had clearance to get my pin in and out, which I do. Hello everyone, we are working on the FJ. Boom. So, rear bumper's on. The new rock sliders are on, slash steps, because they stick out a little bit, which is good because it'll be slightly higher so the old man can get in and out still. Front bumper also done, and LEDs are all wired up. So, if you guys ever get a stuck wheel, I can't get my wheel off, well, you got some options. Get yourself a hammer. I already broke this one free, but you know, afterthought. So, if it's on a lift, you can use a hammer, or on the ground and you got it jacked up, or if it's lower, you can actually just kind of mule kick it. But you want to put one lug nut on, that way your tire doesn't come flying off and going into traffic if you're on the side of the road or whatever. But bam, hit it, break it free, or kick it, mule kick it. You can Sparta kick it, you can mule kick it, whatever you want to do. Just hit the tire on the edge and that'll hopefully break it loose. So on this side, we are going to try to avoid doing all this mess and taking the axle all the way out. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I don't know if I'm stupid, lazy, or if I'm smart for trying to think of it this way. But it'll save taking all this parking brake hardware off. I did a little modification right here. Get off of there. So this is your axle shaft here. That's your axle bearing. Let's go down this way. So right here, the brake line went through there, and I cut these notches in it using my Nipex bolt cutters. That way I could slide my brake line through and I wouldn't have to disassemble my brake system and re-bleed it. I didn't want to have to do that, so it was easier just to snip these. There's a little retaining clip, which is right here, that slides in there, slides right over this part here. Boop. Slides over there, and we're good. So let's see if I can just loosen We're gonna see if I can loosen 1, 2, 3, and there's another guy up over there, 4, and then just pop it out just enough, because we're gonna put lunchbox locker in here, Spartan locker. That way he's got a locked rear diff when he tries to go off-roading. Okay, another tip. You got a bolt, nut, whatever, it's real hard. Can't get it with just one wrench. So take another wrench, of equal or larger size. That way you can slide it over the end and lock it in. Give it a tug. Now you're free. And you can proceed. Well, it looks like it worked. Look at that. Just saved myself, I don't know, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. Cool. Now let's pull that bad mamma jamba out. We got the old strut out. Took about 18 years to get out this back bolt on the strut, or the nut. The troublemaker was one of these. And of course, I was this one. But of course, there's the one you couldn't get a ratchet on, so you could only do it like a 1/16th of a turn at a time. So I stood on a bench and just turned that nut, and that's what I did for about 15 minutes. It was great. But luckily, nothing else really gave me too much of a fight. We'll start doing the other side. We got to drop the sway bar down. There's a spacer that goes in there, which is this. So then this will bolt up here in place of that. Sway bar will bolt to this, and that'll drop this down, because in the rear, which we got the rear done, so the rear got these nice drop links, bushings on the frame side, and heim joint on the bar. Big old foam cell shocks, nice springs, adjustable panhard rod. So we got the body centered, or the axle centered back underneath the body, whichever way you want to look at it. But yep, the rear locker is also in. See the nice fresh bead of RTV. We got the new sway bar links on there. So this is your sway bar here, and then you follow it back, and we have the new spacers in there to drop the sway bar down a little bit. Follow that back. This is the new link here and here, this bar. And there's a new one on the other side. You can see it's got a new upper control arm with the lift kit, new ball joint, And yeah, looks pretty good, cleaned up nice. It's been sitting for a long time. I got a couple, you'll see some pictures here. They're not, wasn't real pretty, but considering it's a 2008, you know, it looks pretty good now. Hopefully, unfortunately, these tires are brand new. They're not real aggressive, so I don't know how far it's gonna go, but given the budget, new tires just weren't there. So in the future, we'll let you know how it does. All right, thanks.